Hey, Dwiz, how you doing, man?
I'm good, my man. I'm good. I'm not going to ask how are you because I know how this works. You're good. There's not much to say. Let's get straight into it, right?
Yep, that's pretty much it, man. You know how it goes.
My man.
You know how it goes. That's great, man. So, yeah, let's kick things off. I think we'll start things off with the most obvious one. Real Talk's 8th birthday and Melbourne, all coming up in a couple of months. How are you feeling about the upcoming events coming for this one, man?
Yeah, let me get my promo on. Obviously, Real Talk 8th birthday event, November 25 at the Bright Side, 6 p.m. to 12 p.m. We're going to have a dope lineup. What I really like about this event before I jump into the Melbourne one is the fact that we got MC battles. We're also going to have DJ battles, and we're also going to have live performances. So we're sort of taking a traditional Real Talk event. We're mixing with some throwback shit, like the live performances being mixed in, and we're also progressing it by adding some DJ battles. So I'm super excited for that event. And then a week later, down in Melbourne, that Melburn event. Yeah, it's going to be crazy, man. Shout outs to first and foremost, shout outs to my brother Gilgoon, the whole Real Talk team, and also shout outs to Carney and Stu. I won't try to pronounce his real name, for getting it off the ground there, man. But more so, I suppose, shout outs for the fucking battle community for wanting it enough to get us to make it happen, man.
That's great, man. That's really good. And, obviously, Real Talk has had quite a fair amount of great events happening in the last year or so. Pretty much almost every single lineup has, ever since the 7th birthday, if I can remember correctly, has always had at least 2 or 3 international acts. Obviously at the Real Talk 7th birthday, you had Disaster, your battle up against Disaster. You had Nestle and Eric Farrell, and there was also obviously Head Ice and Bonnie Godiva, and just recently we had Carter Deems and Shoddy P, who all put on incredible performances. But with this card happening with Cortex versus Cortez, if it actually does happen, provided whether or not the King of the Dot champion is actually decided, and also of course Killer Jones versus Vega. How are you feeling about this one compared to the last couple of birthdays that Real Talk's had?
Yeah, real good, man. I think that each event we learn a little bit from, and I've been doing it 8 years, and we still continue to learn from each event. And some things we sort of learn, but we fall into old habits and forget. So in terms of you're right, man. I think that all the internationals that we've had, in the last year, we've had Thesaurus, Disaster, Nestle, E. Farrell, Head Ice, Bonnie Godiva, Shoddy P, they've all come out here and put on. And I think that in itself is it's a mark of respect to Real Talk. It's a mark of respect to our whole scene out here. In terms of in relation to Cortez, will he make it out here? Will he win the chain? Man, we got Dundee and Vega over there to make sure Cortez gets super fucked up before his battle. So I'm sure they're going to do the job, the inside mission. I'm obviously going to be tuned in. Me and Gil will be very, very tuned into the PPV to see how it goes down. The title matches, it's like a momentum thing. You can almost feel who's going to win it. It was even the same back when, bringing it back to Real Talk, back when Deliver sort of won the chain from Case, there was just a feeling in the air that people were ready for something new or ready for a change. And I think it's the momentum they go in with. And that was very true for Ice. It was a controversial decision for him to get the win over Roan, and a lot of people were screaming Bryce. I'll tell you how much I love this battle rap shit. I was literally at the pool doing swimming lessons with my son, in the water, doing swimming lessons, teaching him how to do his thing with my fucking phone, sitting on the fucking chair on the side of the pool, watching and listening to the battle at the same time. So, man, feeling really good, man. I think that Cortez does have the momentum behind him at the moment, and that's a scary prospect. But, Ice is Ice. Ice can shut a room down by fucking saying his own name, or, love a home fries, love a home fries. So it's really just about who takes the crowd away from the other one early. I'm excited to see. There's so many different ways that battle could go, man. But I really, really hope that Ice wins, just because I want to see Cortex get his shot, man. He's well and truly earned that. He's one of the true vets that's been around since the very early events. He sort of has his run and then had a bit of a break. He's, a bit of hiatus, wasn't seen for a while. He's come back and jumped on another tear. So I really want to see that man get his shot. Rest assured, if Cortez happens to win the King of the Dot chain, then we'll do what we can to make sure something fire happens for Cortex, whether it's at that event or the next one. And similar with Vega, man. Seeing that boy, yeah, I'm really, really keen to see him versus Chiller. I'm really keen to see what he does over there at World Dom 7 this weekend. He's someone that's put his heart on the line. He's really invested himself in this battleship at his own detriment at times, and obviously to his own benefit in the long term, because people can say what they want in terms of he's online, he's always having conversations, he's networking. But a quote that I actually read from Direct, Grind Time CEO back in the day, is how your network determines your net worth. So more power to him, man. He's setting a blueprint on how a lot of other battlers can raise their profile and get known, and have the scene, the wider scene, not just the local scene, become familiar with them. So both of them deserve their plates. They've both put in a lot of work to get there, and I hope to see them both get it and really make the most of it.
Yeah, absolutely, man, and that's something else I wanted to cover as well with World Domination 7. Like, this is obviously the biggest deal that we've ever gotten for like any Australian to visit King of the Dot. Like, obviously, we had 360, we had Manners, we had Anecdote, we also had Purpose perform over there. But the fact that Dundee was actually in high demand to actually return for like another performance and another battle and all that, and especially with Vega being called up to take part in it. Like, this is the very, very first time that we've actually gone this far with King of the Dot to have like two Australians be battling on the same card. Like, that's a massive achievement.
And it runs heaps deeper than that. So there's two Australians on the same card. There's no we know, or most people will be familiar with, Don't Flop over in UK have had their issues in recent times, but Bobby Lee or Bobby Rex, I think he's the only UK dude from UK is considered to be a way bigger scene than ours, right? It's more advanced and all that, but we've got two, and they've only got one rep on the undercard. And I mean, in Dundee, you're right, he was in high demand, and I don't know if I'm certainly not trying to take any personal not trying to say it's down to us. I'm saying it's down to we, because initially, Vega had his battle locked down. They were announcing cards, and they were sort of like, yep, the lineup's full. And Dunners didn't have a battle, and Dunners actually messaged me and was like, hey, bro, looks like I'm going to be available for that event. I'm not sure. I haven't really heard from him yet. And then Big Cannon actually got on his Twitter and he tweeted out to King of the Dot, obviously in an attempt to get on the lineup. He's like, hey, King of the Dot, I know my last performances on your platform have been weak. I owe you a performance I'm coming to put on. And that fortunately happened too. It happened at the same time that we sort of, there was a little pocket of us that jumped on the talkback for him and was like, all right, the Vega 4 Dub D7 hashtag campaign was relatively successful, or he got his battle. So we jumped into action and made sure everyone got on there for the Dundee for Dub D7, and that came through. So I think that's a really dope initiative in itself. And again, it just shows the power of when the collective gets together for the same cause. How your network determines your net worth, and we rally together. We've got strength in numbers, and we create a presence that can't be denied, man.
Yeah, that's it, man. And especially because of the fact that, considering that Vegas only had 8 or 9 battles recorded on camera and all that, and the fact that he's already gone so fucking far with battle rap, it's a massive achievement. I mean, there are hardly any battlers that get a King of the Dot attempt or anything like that after say 15 battles or something like that. But Vega, it's already got him he only had to do half that amount, and look at where he's already gone. It's so incredible.
Quality over quantity, man. Quality over quantity. He didn't go and dilute himself. He didn't jump on every platform. He didn't take every plate. He was, obviously, fucking Vega's on the Real Talk team, right? So we fucking have conversations, very regular conversations, and he, very early on, he's like, he was like, look, I'm going to take whatever plate you put in front of me, but this is the course that I want to plot. And he wanted to go up against other pens so he could show that, he feels his pen is superior. And then, he after 3 or 4 battles, he got thrown into that Real Talk title match, which he sort of wanted to build the story and go for longer, but there was so much hype and excitement around it. It felt like a no-brainer to do. We know how that went. LJ retained the chain and stayed champ, but that, Vegas didn't allow that to stop him or slow his momentum. He's just like, yep, cool, all right, what's next? And he's strategic in what he does. He's strategic in how he does it. Yeah. And again, he fucking networks, mate. So when he goes out of his way, he shares people's links, he offers feedback. He does it for the greater benefit, and then that benefit comes back around to him. But that's not the core reason he does it. He does it because he loves it, sort of thing. You know what I mean? So more power to him, bro. I'm not gonna. Don't want to blow him up too much. He's got a battle to get through. I don't want his head swelling, too much before he gets on that world domination stage. But full respects, man. Respects where respect's due.
Yeah, absolutely. That's definitely it, man. And we'll actually get back to real talk with the upcoming events. Like, obviously, you're going to be hosting the 8th birthday event. Are you actually hoping to make an appearance over at the Melbourne event?
Man, there's nothing more I would like to do. Actually, nothing more I'd like to do than be there and host and even fucking battle. Like Melbourne, I used to talk about it more than I do now, but Melbourne was my hometown. Like I was born there, I grew up there till I was 12. I've been in Queensland for 20 years now. That's why Brizzy in Queensland is home. But Melbourne's still my first home. I love that city, but unfortunately, December 2nd, the same date as the Real Talk Melburn event, is actually my fiance's 30th birthday. So I like my nutsack located just where it is right now. So I'm going to have to forego that event, unfortunately.
No, that's fair enough, man. That's fair enough. But, like, obviously, you'll definitely be looking back on all the battles that take place there. But, like, I think you've pretty much covered exactly, like, what battles you're looking forward to, especially with, like, the headlining battles between Vega and Cortex and all that kind of stuff. But, like, are there any other clashes that you're really looking forward to seeing and, like, how they translate on camera and all that kind of stuff?
So many, man. There's so many. Like, obviously, I know the 8th birthday card a little bit more intimately than I know the Melbourne card. Like Ted versus Tron. Ted's one of them dude who's been building up momentum, and Ted is symbolic of a lot of dudes right now. So I've been talking a little bit lately about the fact that I feel like we're on the cusp of a bit of a changing of the guard, or not necessarily a changing of the guard, but we're definitely adding stocks. Like the base is getting higher and the ceiling's getting even higher, and there's more and more battlers stepping into that sort of mid to top tier echelon. And I think we're going to have a whole bunch of new names, and I think Ted's a good example of that, because probably a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago, he's got an unorthodox delivery, right, where he'll either drop a punch early, or he'll build up, nothing will happen, and then he'll drop a punch half a bar later, so the crowd will sort of, when they weren't familiar and knew his style and knew what to expect, he would get slept on, but it was just sort of like people didn't realise that he'd just dropped the bar until later, so it was a bit late to react. And man, if people don't know Tron, like Renatron, he's been doing his thing at 1 ounce New Zealand for a long time. He's had a very, very debatable battle with their champion over there. He's put in work. I'm looking forward. Like every undercard battle on this, if we didn't have international battles, could potentially be the headliner. It's going to be hard as fuck to put a run list together, man. Bronson versus Carney, like crazy. Bronson's another one of the. He's like a young prodigy.
Definitely.
Carney better have something to prove, and I say that with all due respect. If you're gonna be kicking off the Melbourne division a week later, you really got to fucking fly that flag in Brisbane. You know what I mean? You've got to like put on all 3 rounds, and I know he will, and I know he's motivated for it. So. Looking forward to that as well, obviously. Haruli versus Creepy J. Just every battle is crazy. Like I'm a massive Haruli fan. I've made no secret of the fact that I like to flow. I'm a rapper first. I love when people come with those intricate rhyme patterns and that flow. Doesn't use it as a crutch in terms of every bar's not spat in that manner, but knows when to switch it on, knows when to taper it off. And Creepy J is a fucking beast. He had hella momentum. I actually think other than that Vanguard event a couple of years ago, I think that was Creepy's first time to Real Talk. And I always say, Real Talk, they've got to be familiar. It takes 1 or 2 battles for them to get familiar, and then they love you. Even Jibs from New Zealand, he sort of got a little bit slept on his first couple of battles. So last battle, Ted stole the crowd momentum pretty early. It's crazy when you watch that battle how Creepy sort of ends his first round talking about the close, and then Ted comes with that opener about fucking I'll kill him with the shirt like Maud Flanders. It just that is what made the momentum all go Ted's way. But I know like Creepy was fight. What did he say? It's like How I Met Your Mother, because Ted plays a small part in it, but I'm the reason they watch him. Like,
that's it.
And that got slept on, do you know what I mean? So that's what I mean. I'm really looking forward to Creepy J coming back and being like, you slept on me last time, sleep on this, motherfuckers. So I'm looking to that one. Oh, man, now you got me slipping on the battles. Obviously, like, I really, really want to see Cortex get his plate. I really want Cortez to be out here. And I suppose you can put it out there. Look, if he doesn't win the chain, there's still a possibility. Like, we've got to negotiate with the airlines. But if we can't postpone it and we can't do anything with the flight, then fuck, we'll bring him out here as a guest. You know what I mean? I've offered to to Gunnick and Gully, I sort of said, look, we'll vault the battle. Let him come out, let him do the battle, we'll film it, we won't release it to YouTube, we won't release it to video on demand until such time as you guys approve it if he wins the title. So we're doing everything we can there. Vega versus Chiller Jones, Jesus fucking Christ.
Definitely.
I think we're going to have that one a little earlier in the night so the crowd's not too drunk and misses everything.
Yep.
I know I'm missing that. Hirsch versus Often, I knew I'd see. I can't miss a battle because it's disrespectful because every battle is of such a high caliber on this card.
Definitely.
Hirsch versus Often, we've been trying to get Hirsch over here for a long time. We've had a couple of battles we've locked in, has fallen through for one reason or another. Often is really on a tear. Often versus Chimera. Often's Hunger Pains angle. What do you know about Hunger Pains? That shit, I actually know what it's like to eat bread rolls for dinner and having a fucking loaf of bread has to last you a week. So when he was spitting that, I was like I've been in that position. I know exactly where you're coming from. And I know he's a pen. He's motivated by other pens. Even Bills versus Raider, man. Wait till their tryout battles drop out. They both sort of came in and their very first performance was just like, boom. Like, fucking, I'm here, I'm comfortable, and I belong here. So every card, honestly, every battle, top to bottom, is going to be, there's not a battle that I would sort of be like, hey, Cos, you want to host this one, brother? I'm going to pop out, So I'm looking forward to the whole card, man. And then, Dundee versus Cortez. Jesus Christ. Sometimes you got to pinch yourself to go, did we really make that happen? Is that really happening on our platform? Especially because, it's no secret, man. Real talk. We've come a long way. We've invested in our footage, in our events. But there was a time when, and I do want to say this on the record too, there was a time when sort of hip-hop was wifey and battling was just a side bitch. Battling was just, we'll catch up with the crew on the weekend, we'll have some battles and we'll all get pissed and have a good time. That's the way we sort of treated it, and it was because it's fun for us, man. If we don't make money off of any of the events, we lose money every event, but we still rally and do it again because we fucking want to do it. Yeah. We're taking it serious now, so we've got an amazing venue for it. I'm really looking forward to everything, man. I love this shit.
Absolutely, man. And looking back on everything that you've done for Real Talk, as well as Gilgoon and everyone else who's been involved, as a host, league owner, and especially seeing as it's the main Aussie battling league in all of the country, what are some of the things that have happened over the last couple of years that kind of made you feel really proud of, yourself, Goon, and everyone else that's been involved? What have been some of the biggest achievements that you felt made Real Talk reach its pinnacle?
Great fucking question. I think the fact, the Real Talk 7th birthday, it made sure that people knew we were serious, and I think we've still had a couple little audio issues even at the birthday and at events since then, but I think that event that we put together made everyone go, oh, they're serious about it now. You know what I mean? So pulling that event off, even, being able to say to Diz, look, Matt Klein can't make it. E. Farrell's come out here, he's got rounds. How do you feel about standing in front of him and him being like, yeah, man, what we'll do is, I'll go get a koala shirt and a blonde wig. That's epic. I've got to give, Gil Goon his fucking full and utmost respects, man. When we started this shit, sort of Gil sort of played the background and he was sort of editor and things like that. But over time, anytime there's been a requirement, he's just stepped up and gone, yep, I got this. I've recently jumped into a job that's pretty full on. My last 3 years has been so full on in my work life, and Gil's just picked up the slack and he doesn't throw it back in my face. He doesn't give me a hard time about it. He's just like, it's all good, just fucking, it's there now. Fucking handle it, do your job. I'm just proud of I'm proud of the fact that I've got the same Gil Goon's my brother. That's my dude. We worked together for fucking 8 years and beyond that. Well, I don't want to turn this into a shade or a shade throwing session or a dissing session, but if you study shit closely, I don't think there's been anybody else that's been involved in the battle culture that hasn't sort of represented multiple brands or multiple leagues at some stage or another, but we've never done that. We could have easily gone, you know what, let's change our name. Let's run with a new name and we'll start putting different events on, because we know there's a bit of a stigma to the earlier events, but we're proud of what we've done. We stand by our convictions. We stand by what we do well. We stand by what we don't do well. We learn. We progress. I'm just proud to have the same fucking crew around us and to have a good team. Everyone puts in. I'm just proud that we're still here after 8 years and we haven't fucking, we've never gone away for a year and come back. We've never changed names. We've never had all these new faces come and go. I think if you talk to anybody we've worked with over 8 years, none of them can ever say we've done bad business. that's what I'm most proud of, man. We maintain our integrity at all times, and we do it because we're in it for the right reasons, right? We're not in it for a business. We're not in it to make money, and then all of a sudden after an event or two it doesn't make money and we go, oh shit, it's all a mistake, we better go back to doing some other shit. We're in this shit for real, like full-time lifers kind of shit. They're a 9 to 5 or we're a 5 to lifer.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's fantastic that you're staying in that kind of mindset to keep Real Talk expanding, no matter like how long it's going to take you to reach whatever level you're trying to get. You're always putting in the hard work, and like it's incredible that like after all these years, Real Talk has been able to extend itself throughout the country. That goes for Adelaide, which started out in like 2015. There's also been like, especially with Melbourne coming up, and Camiro obviously shared his story about how he got in touch with Dottie and a few others, involved with Real Talk and all that kind of stuff, especially with Adelaide. And, Carney's also got his chance to host the Melbourne event coming up. I mean, like, Real Talk has already proven that it's like the most successful in, Australian battle rap so far.
Yeah, man. Well, as you said, like that's actually something that I'm proud of right there. We never had the intentions to go, let's go take over Sydney, let's go take over Adelaide, let's go take over. Like, there's been opportunities to move into those places, and we did have a little foray into Adelaide back in 2013-14, where there was 1 or 2 events, and then it went awry. Like, we've never actively searched for that. It's been people going, I want to represent the brand, I want to be able to be a part of that team. And we still get it. Like, I get it almost every day. I get battlers, I get fans, I get people like, hey man, there's anything we can do if you need a new host, if you want to grab a drink, what can I do to be a part of it. So yeah, I'm super proud of that as well, man. All these people, we've never actively sought that, and it's always been a respect thing. Like, there's a league there, they're established, they're holding it down. It doesn't matter how well or poorly they're doing by other people's perceptions. The fact that they're there putting in their efforts, we fucking resonate with that. We understand what that's like. We understand what it takes. So we're not trying to go and cut another man's grass. But when the city's sort of throwing their hands up going, we need Real Talk, that makes me super proud, because I know that at one stage that wasn't there. That wasn't what people were saying about us. And that's cool. Like, I never took it disrespectful, because like I said, I used to be really vocal. I'm not a professional. I'm fucking just a rapper that likes to host battles. And with maturity and over time, I've sort of grown to actually go, you know what? If we take this seriously, again, playing the long game, we can do so. And now, like, the time is ripe right now, man. Bodied is about to, like, that shit's going to blow up globally. I guarantee you. Eminem's sharing it on his fucking Instagram. I thought sort of produced by Eminem was a bit of a token title on it, but he's actually pushing it. It's all these film festival awards that it's winning, all these extra screenings. When that hits the web, or fucking however it hits, that's going to have a whole new insurgence. We just got, fucking King of the Dot have just had the Oxy versus Diz battle, which is at 4 million views after 24 hours. Like,
absolutely.
It's a really good time to be involved, man. And I guarantee you, we're going to see a lot of little things popping up. It's going to be like a game of whack-a-mole. There's going to be little heads popping up from the ground, probably old heads that we've seen before, new heads that want to jump on now that it's good. But let's just remember who was there during the hard times, who put the fucking work in to build the foundation, and to make sure that we're well respected and we're well represented. Like, if you watch World Dom last year, which was before our birthday, Danik was what up to Real Talk back then. Like, and that's even with all that Vanguard bullshit, which we can get into if you want. I've fucking got no say. Like I said to you, bro, nothing's off limits. Ask me whatever you want, and I'll give you the fucking full, candid, honest response.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Well, actually, yeah, the other thing too, like, now that you actually mentioned Eminem and all that kind of stuff, especially with the Bodied film, like, just being released in like film festivals and all that, so far it's gotten such a great response from critics and like even the fans themselves. Yeah. But like, the other thing to remember too is that, like, obviously, like Eminem and like all these other rappers, they started doing like battle raps on the streets and all that kind of stuff. But we also, like, the thing is that, like, the mainstream audience, like, what's the first thing that they think of when it comes to battle rap? It's, the 8 Mile movie, because like Eminem is such a huge name. Like, he's the biggest rapper in the world, along with like all sorts of different names and all that kind of stuff. But looking at like his own experience in battle rap, like the movie that he's actually done for Bodied and all that, especially seeing as he's produced it, he's actually given it like a more realistic feel, and especially because he's actually getting all these battlers from like the King of the Dot era and all that, like actual battle rappers involved. That's actually going to put battle rap like on the mainstream market and make people actually understand like what it's about. Like especially because of the fact that it's not just people who love rap music. It's people who also listen to other music. Like even myself included.
Yep.
I listen to metal and I fucking love battle rap, and that's fucking incredible.
Word, man. Yeah, absolutely. Like Eminem obviously cut his teeth on battles. I actually remember back in the day of mini disc players, for the young kids playing along at home, in between CDs and MP3s, there were these things called mini discs that were shit. But I actually remember sort of 98, 99, before I'd ever heard of fucking, I'd never heard of WRCs. I didn't have the internet as a kid. Now I fucking literally got I have owned my first computer like a year and a half ago. I didn't have the internet, but I had these little fucking mini discs, and it had actually like rounds of Eminem from the Scribble, the Rap Olympics. Like, I don't think it was Scribble Jam back then. I think it was something else. I think it was just the Rap Olympics in '97. I think he went to, and I got anyway. Fucking, had some fiends around the way come and give me a mini disc player and 6 tapes, and at the time I thought he was freestyling, and I thought this shit is incredible. It's actually funny, like about 05, when the freestyle, it was sort of on the cusp of the written era coming in. Jay Legend started to bring all these rounds, and they were clearly pre-written, and I was actually going in on him, man. I was like, you fucking cheater, that's clearly written. He said something to Alexander Commander. He said something about, you masturbate to a picture of Darren Hayes that you hang on your wall in a massive frame, and I was just like, what? I was like, this cunt's cheating, fucking get out, you don't belong here with your long hair, you're fucking infiltrating hip-hop, this shit is pure. And he was, there's actually an AusHipHop.com thread, he's like, fucking, have you never heard of Grind Time or World Rap Championships? I'm like, no, I never had that. But I didn't realise that's how far advanced Eminem was with it. Like 97, he was already sort of those little pre-scripts. It was different, obviously, than completely pre-written. And now, 20 years later, he just dropped that BET cipher, and clearly, massively influenced by battle rap, the modern format right now. He's clearly, watched some battles and gone, yeah, now I'm ready to write my shit. So that's... It's good again. He's got the right intentions. He could obviously come in and co-sign it and do what he want. Obviously, I don't know the dude personally, so maybe he did do that. Yeah. I don't know, but it's dope to have someone that's been around in it for that long, as opposed to, again, no shade, no shots, but Drake. Drake, you've been around since 2012. If you're going to come in and be like, yeah, that's dope, throw your support behind it and make amazing things happen, that's dope. But it's different when you've got someone that's been in it 20 years and cut their teeth on that and came up on it, and their original style sounded like it. They progress with their style, and then 20 years later they've sort of come full circle back to that style. So yeah, you're right, man. It's a great time. It's a great time to be involved. It's a great time to have these people involved, and you just know that on that level and on that stature of things that it's going to be well produced, and that's what's going to further the appeal and enable us to reach out to more metalheads and fucking more. Let's get some juggalos at shows. Let's get fucking, we want some strippers at shows. That'd be cool. Let's get everybody at shows. It's funny. Someone sort of had a shot at us recently saying Real Talk's the most ignorant and least diverse crowd they've seen. Basically, just fucking running his mouth because he's a dickhead. Yeah. But if you come to the last event, it's so diverse now. There's chicks all through the crowd. There's some glamour ones. There's some fucking Bulldog Dyke ones. There's older gentlemen. We had dudes at the Real Talk 7th birthday. No, not Real Talk 7th birthday. It was the event that Vega and Shoddy P battled out, which wasn't total reality check. There was fucking 50-year-old dudes. There was literally this couple that were like in their late 40s, mid to late 40s, and they were like, I don't know, man, we were just fucking typed in Brisbane hip-hop shows, and this came up, so we thought we'd come and check it out. That is how diverse it's getting, and it's only going to get more diverse, more widespread, and hopefully bigger and better, man. Hopefully we start getting enough payers through the fucking door that we can not be left in debt at the end of the event. That'd be nice.
Yeah, pretty much, man. And the other thing too, going on to the latest King of the Dot battle, which obviously I'm pretty sure everyone has actually watched, Disaster vs. Oxymoron. I watched that before I went to the gig last night in Adelaide, and I was blown away by everything that was going on, especially because it's really funny because in some of the countries that you thought would not have such a huge fan base or following, it actually happens to do so. Over in the Philippines, obviously with Flip Top, they have the most viewed battlers coming from the Philippines, and there's Oxymoron, and that guy fucking flogged Disaster big time, and it's incredible. People from Russia were also going to Los Angeles just to watch Oxymoron spit some shit in English, and that's fucking incredible.
not even just Russians, man. There were Germans in the crowd. There was Australians in the crowd. There was people from around the world. Like, yeah, man, no, you're absolutely right. It's so epic. And, I think that actually, I watch a lot of Drink Champs with Noriega, and he actually says, the Drink Champs is all about paying respects to the legends, fucking, not the newest. He doesn't go for gossip. He goes for legends, and he wants real hip-hop stories, and he wants backstories. And he was talking to, he probably says it pretty regularly, he's like, it's crazy because in hip-hop circles, in the core hip-hop fans, which you've got to say is USA, right? Yep. Like, it's taken for granted. It's like, oh, you've been here for 10 years, you're old, now go away. But they go overseas, they go to Budapest, they go to Germany, they go to Spain, they go to Lithuania, they go to all these places, and they still sell out 40,000 solid crowds. So you'd be surprised, man. I think that the following, I think that you almost can potentially take it for granted. Do you know what I mean? Like, we probably take, Vegemite and Lamingtons for granted. But overseas people are like, what the fuck is this? Like, I think it's the same with hip hop in the States. I think potentially, again, I don't live there. I don't know. I'm only making assumptions off of my own perception and things that I've watched, listened to, and learned. But yeah, man, you damn straight through Europe, through all these other countries, even like Japan and Tokyo, Japan and China, and it's everywhere, man. It's world spread. And I think like the Philippines point you're making, like Minnesota Luke has a brilliant video about it where he actually breaks it. And everyone's like, well, the common perception is that their population must be insane, but actually, not only is their population tiny, but like there's like 600. I'm pulling numbers out of my ass. 600,000, I think, is the population, like less than 1 million, and like 10% of that actually speak English. And yet they've got this massive population that is passionate about it, man. And I don't know what it is. I'd love to soak that shit up, but fucking, I don't know. I don't know if I'll ever be let into Philippines, but yeah, it'd be dope to be there for an event where they really, and that's what we want to see here. We want to see, and that's what it used to be, man. Which is, it's kind of ironic because when we just rock up and fucking go, yep, when me and Gil were doing it for the drink tickets and you get as smashed as possible, we'd get 150, 200, 250 people attending the events, and then we started. It's been better in the last year, pretty much since we did the Real Talk 7th birthday, but in between, you run these major events, you got some of the best names in the country, and they get no attendance. They get 30, 40 people, and the battles get no views. And I think, we need to fucking support our own backyard before we spread out, and we need to replicate what happens overseas, and not take it for granted that there's going to be another show next week or another battle next month, and maybe that can be helped by desaturating the scene with one solid platform around the place. But no, you're absolutely right, man. People, they don't take it for granted. When it's there, they get behind it, they rally behind it, they support it, and like I said, man, that's what we need to replicate more of, man. It's great to see because it can only help us. Like, I posted in the forum yesterday, I was like, I checked on my battle with Diz just to see if there was, I was checking the views, I'm not going to lie, but I was also looking to see if there's any Russian comments. And there was a Russian comment, I was like, boss, I've got one of them. We're expanding, we're reaching, we're fucking infiltrating. It's great, man.
Yeah, very true, man, very true. But like, also something else I wanted to bring up, like in relation to like Real Talk's evolution and like its whole build up leading up to now and all that kind of stuff. Like, looking at the footage from the last, like, say 2 years or maybe 1.5 years, who knows how long, but like the footage of the battles have gone so fucking good, like one event after the next. Like the Hunger Pains footage, like what I saw from Chimera and Often, that was incredible. Like immaculate results, like not just visually but audio. It sounded incredible, like very professional with like especially with the angles on the camera, the lights, the production. It made it stand out like as if it was like a URL or a King of the Dot event. Like it was just so sharp. Everything about it was just so well done.
Yeah, man, it comes from progression. It comes from learning. It comes from investing in our shit. Like you can't get everything right all at one time. And I'll be the first to say, Real Talk Brizzy, we've had some audio issues, and it's a cunt, man. Because straight up, like, we'll book a venue, and New Globe, we know there's 2 rooms, and we sort of said, I will pay fucking room hire for the second room, just don't book it out. They're like, yep, no worries, we won't book it out, and then they fucking book it out. And then we got one event we had a fucking Spice Girls tribute band at, and the next event we had like a full heavy metal punk gig, which I'm sure you know about, and the noise was just seeping, and it's seeping through, ruining our footage after guarantees from the venue, so it's really fucking hard to avoid, but we learn. I go in with a stronger negotiating tactic where that cannot fuck. I actually lost the venue we had the venue booked. It was an amazing venue with like a upper level mezzanine that the fans, well, actually it was going to be upper level like VIP area where people could watch down on the battles, as well as a really sick stage, as well as a nice, dope, narrow venue. And I was going so like hard at him. I was like, now listen, there's going to be no music played throughout the night. There cannot be a DJ. There cannot be a CDJ. I even said to him, we do not want you serving drinks during the battles because the ice and fucking peak, because bartenders, man, they're all fucking off their guts on fucking Joey or whatever they're on, and they just like slam cups into the ice and all you hear is in the background. But coming back to the point, man, it's just learning. It's progressing, it's investing, it's getting outside people, it's people seeing what we're doing and going, I want to be involved in that, and here's the expertise I'm going to bring, here's the equipment I'm going to bring, here's the investment that I want to make, because I can see you investing in yourself. And it's only going to continue. And there's obviously technological advancements. Like, the cameras are crazy. You buy a fucking $6,000 top-of-the-line camera, and 3 months later it's worth fucking $400 on eBay because, the technology is redundant. So all of those things play a part, man. But predominantly it's just watching, learning, progressing, investing, man. That's the key to it right there. We listen to the feedback. Don't ever think because I go, shut your fucking mouth. Well, I actually try not to do that these days. But, we listen to all feedback, whether we like it or not, whether we go, we did everything we fucking could to avoid that, and that's the only thing they can pick at us on, and that's why they're going so hard at it. Like, it eats me alive, but we don't let it sit there. We don't just go, fuck them. We go, so we got to do something about it.
Yeah, that's right. That's the way to go about it, man. And like, looking back on everything else that's happened, like ever since Real Talk started out, and looking back at the battles that had like Curse to 360, Anecdote, Purpose, and like all these other cats that have been around since like 2007 or something like that. Like how have you seen like them as battlers from back in the day and like their old battles compared to what you see and something that you get from the likes of Vega, Dunks, 10, and every other Aussie battler that you see?
Yeah, man, well, let me take it right back. I've told this story a few times online, but I think I think what you do is fucking brilliant, and I want to use this platform to tell the story. But Real Talk started out of a freestyle event in a park. Yep. Like I said, like Jay Legend and a few others started to bring these loosely scripted rounds, and there was one battle in particular between a dude called 2P and a dude called Alexander Commander. And Alexander Commander's like a freestyling legend. Like you never get into a cypher with him because you never get a chance to fucking rap. You're like, let's have a cypher, and he'll just start and not stop. Like Dead said, I've seen this guy rap for 3.5 hours at a party, and he's blazed, drunk, and not on any, stimulants. It's just how much he loves it. And then 2P. 2P's he's a doctor now. Like he was a new kid to the scene. Obviously came in a little bit later off the back of some of the loosely scripted stuff. And this battle was at Toombul Skate Park. And after 3 rounds, it was pretty clear that 2P had the win, but it was also more clear that he brought written shit. So the crowd sort of through the battle had started to turn on him, and by the end of the 3rd round, it was like, one more round. This battle ended up going to like 9 rounds, man, and the crowd was like, freestyle, and Alexander eventually got the win, even though everyone knew 2P was rapping better. So I actually said to the dude who ran the event, MC Rothy, I said to him, who's actually the man behind my Bacon on Friday EP, just a little trivia there, I said to him, bro, we need to have one event where we tell everyone to write, and we just make it a level playing field. And he was just like, nah, that's whack. You don't write for battles. Another little trivia piece, Percy P and fucking Lord Finesse battle was clearly written back in 89. So all these purists that go freestyle over beats can go eat a dick. But he wasn't with it. So then I pretty much said, all right, well, fucking I'll do it. And I organised this event, and it was supposed to be 4 battles. It ended up being 2. And the 2 battles that went down was me versus Trill, and Jay Legend versus Case One. Fucking that's when the legend that is Real Talk was born. So it wasn't born because I loved this format. It was actually born out of spite for this format. I was like, no, we need to keep it freestyle, man. That's fucking pure. That's real hip hop. I suppose in terms of the progression that we've seen since then, I think that you've seen progression with that. Like in the early days, people would bring loosely scripted rounds, and it would just be random multis that were funny, basically float off the back of each other. And now we see, fucking Dundee does these killer 3rd rounds where he goes, you know what, I'm going to talk some real shit. We're weaving real shit into our material. Like we're taking it a lot more serious. I think that it used to be, speaking from a personal perspective, it was like, all right, what can I say about this dude? write my verse, and all right, I've got a verse. Write another one. All right, now I've got fucking 2 verses. Write another one. I'm ready for my battle. Now it's literally write fucking 8 verses worth of material and pick it apart and piece it together and make it happen. Some people still do, like I know Big Cos, shout out to my bro. I know he literally goes and takes a shit, writes out a whole fucking verse because he sent it to me and I go, there's some dope stuff in there, but edits it, and he's like, nah, should be good, man.
Yep. No, that's great, man. And like, also something else I wanted to ask as well, like, you know, coming from your own perspective with like everything that you've experienced in the past, like what are some of the main things that people need to remember, like when it comes to battling and acting professional in the scene? Because like obviously there are a lot of people that can get easily confused with how the game, the league, and the behavior works and all that kind of stuff, and how it's supposed to be executed. And you know, shit can really go out of hand if it's not treated correctly. But what would you say have to be like some of the key characteristics to make a battler or or even an aspiring rapper to actually take into account when they're actually doing a battle or even running a league of some sort?
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm the best person to ask about acting professionally in the scene, my bro, but I'll answer it as best I can. I think the biggest tip I would say is get to know the scene before you jump in it. Come to an event, get to understand the mechanics of it, get to understand the way it works. Like, people that don't see it, and I've been guilty of this, I was a little kid in the hood writing my rhymes, and every person I battled was my sworn enemy for life. And after I was finished rapping at them for 30 seconds, that was it. I fucking hated it. It's not that way anymore, man. It's legitimately a sport. Like, you know, footy players, they go on the field, they shake hands with their opponent at the start of the game, then they spend 2 hours trying to kill them. Then at the end of the game, they go, you fucking got me there, bro. Yeah, good hit. But they understand the game, and I think that's what a lot of people, I think that's the difference between people who come in and make an immediate impact and people who come in and then they feel like they get slept on and they feel like they don't get their respect. And then they get fucking spiteful about it, or they get dirty and they're like, these cunts don't get me, they're sleeping on me, they're not showing me any respect. But it's because they don't understand what they're stepping into before they step into it. Get to know it. How you network determines your net worth. Once again, like, don't just, you know, fucking sit at home and go, I can make words that rhyme string together, so I'm going to be a great battle rapper. Understand pen game, understand crowd control, understand performance. For fuck's sake, prep and remember your fucking rounds, because you don't get a second chance to make a first impression. So if your first impression is fumbling around for your rounds, your 5th or 6th battle might be on the caliber of, I'm not going to say a Vega or a Bronson, but you might be a fucking really solid battler. But unfortunately, you've got 4 or 5 really weak performances, and that's our perception of you. That's what we expect you to come with. This is what I was saying before about crowds getting familiar with battlers and you know, Ted's unorthodox delivery. Crowds know it now. They know that he's not just going to go They know when he does a little pause, he's either just dropped some ill shit or he's about to drop some ill shit, and they fucking react. They wait for it, they react, and that's probably why sometimes people get gassed, because they know it's coming. You know, Holo said it to Clips, you know, the crowd know when to get off because you tell them it's coming a mile away. Like, but that's a good thing, because if they know it's coming, they're sitting there going, he's going to do it, he's going to do it, he fucking did it. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's familiarity, it's experience, it's understanding the game. That'd be my advice, man. As far as advice for people trying to start leagues, my advice will be, don't. Real talk got this. Unless you're in Perth, shout outs to FBL and PCB. No, I'm fucking around there. Again, understand what you're getting into, act professionally. The same thing goes for MCs, it goes for league battlers, and I'm sure there's a lot of people that I've alienated, because in the early days, man, like, Real Talk's first couple of years, I dead set, like, again, used to get smashed at shows, and I would turn around and yell at crowd, next time to talk during the battle, I'm going to smash you. Like, that's just terrible. Like, I think back at it now and I cringe. So I'd say, you know, understand what you're getting into. Act professionally. Your first impression is what people will know you for, and it takes a long time to convince people of otherwise and go, actually, he's not just a drunk dickhead that fucking is going to smash, you know, threaten to smash people. Like, he's actually a dude who understands it, putting in, he's in for the right work, and we're just getting there now because of the damage that potentially I did with that perception early on. So that'd be my advice, bro.
Yeah, that's great, man. I really like that. And also, you know, it's another thing too, like, running a league is definitely no duck soup either. I mean, like, you know, it takes a lot to know, like, you need a lot of, like, experience and, like, getting, like you said, getting familiar with the scene itself, and, you know, seeing what everyone else does, and, like, the battles, and, like, how they actually run the events and all that kind of stuff. Like, there's so much that needs to be understood and learned from, you know, others in order to make everything sync like clockwork.
Absolutely, and you need a good team, and you need people you can trust. Guarantee that. Again, not here to throw anyone under the bus, but I've spoken to people who have been a part of other movements that seemed really, really strong, but this person was saying that person he's done this, and that person was saying this, and then they come together, they smile in each other's face, and they go, "Yeah, man, we're homies, crew for life," and then they go their different ways. You've got to have a team that you trust, and you've got to have people that have your back, and you've got to have people that tell you when you're doing right, and you've got to have people that are telling you when you're fucking up. That's exactly what Gilgoon does for me, bro. And the other thing is, absolutely, you can learn from other things. Like, I've never actually been to another league's event. That's a little bit embarrassing for me to say as someone who's like, I'm here for the culture and I'm here forever. But people came back. I think it was Oxide, might have been Oxide or someone else sort of came back and said, hey, at the time we were doing one battle and a break. We'd have a 15, 20-minute break. People would get a couple of beers. All of a sudden, a 15-minute break would become a half an hour break. People sort of become disengaged. And what could have been a 3-4 hour concise, sharp, really dope event stretches into like a 7 or 8 hour disorganized mess. And someone came back and said, you know what they do? They actually just go like battles in blocks of 3. So they go one, then the next one, then the next one. Then they have a 20-minute break. And because people, that doesn't happen, people haven't been in the venue for 3 hours and watched 2 battles, they stay interested and they know that when this break's over, there's going to be 3 more dope battles. So, that's something that we learned and went, we can make that happen. Sometimes there's venue restrictions. Like I'll give a little bit of a sneak peek at the Real Talk 8th birthday.
Yep.
We're doing stage battles and they've got a really good backstage area. So I actually want to do like a welcome to the stage this person and have them come out to the stage. We haven't really done that before, but that's something that URL do really well. It's something that I've noticed on the last couple of King of the Dot pay-per-views. So that's something I want to add in. So again, understand what you're getting into, learn, don't ever think you know everything. Because if you think you know everything, it's time for you to get the fuck out.
Yep, that's pretty much it, man.
Straight up.
There's also like looking at everything that's happened this year. Like I can kind of determine exactly like what have been your favorite battles. Obviously, there was the Ted versus Creepy J battle and all that kind of stuff. There was Head Ice versus Dundee and all that kind of shit. But like, looking at...
hang on, let's take a moment to really appreciate Dundee's fucking... none of you cunts were there when Bias beat
when Bias beat was rhyming beats, yes.
Fucking, hip-hop didn't exist before OP stepped in and created the first ever rap song called Nosebleeds. That was genius. Sorry, mate. Keep going.
Yeah, definitely, man. Like, that was... that was fucking great. I fucking love that part. But yeah, like
so monumental. You can tell by my reaction. Like I'm glad that Gil actually cut to the second camera because I was literally jumping around like a giddy little girl. Like, oh my god! Like, because I know that there's actually bogan Aussie hip hop fans that actually think that hip hop started with YSB. That's what made it so great.
Yeah, definitely. But just like looking at all the other international battles that have been happening so far, from like King of the Dot, URL, Don't Flop, or wherever you've been watching them on YouTube and all that kind of stuff. Like, what have been some of the highlight battles that like definitely felt like had that really raw energy and just like so much power?
Oh man, I think anything I experienced firsthand is really great like that, and I think that sometimes a battle like Carter Deans versus Dunks is so important to an event because everyone's coming in there again with that militant state of mind and they're coming in there to show and prove and so with a serious mindset. And then Carter Deans comes and raps with a fucking flip chart for a minute and a half about pairs and pairs of parasites seeing Paris Heights from Paris. Like, that shit to me is really important. But man, I'm a bit of a sucker for the classics, like the shit that I revisit all the time. I probably once a month I'll watch John versus Hitman Holler, but just the first round.
Yep. Such
an incredible first round. What's some shit I've been watching lately though? Hollow versus Clips was obviously incredible. I'm a massive Pat Stay fan. Like I just really fucking appreciate his style. I thought the Gully versus Gannick event, that reiterates to me the point of where we're in a stage of ushering in a new guard because the vets they were like, maybe it's because, again, maybe we take for granted what they do because we've seen it for so long, and maybe we go, oh yeah, they've done what they always do, and then you get this fresh blood come in and shake it up. I think Diz versus Oxy, man, that was incredible. Like just the way that Oxy came in and his command of the language and the way he understood and catered to the crowd was brilliant. I'd have to, my favourite battles are probably our local ones. Those probably, Ice versus Dunks is probably Vega versus Shoddy. I've watched that at least, 5-6 times, and that's even with the audio issues. I'm a massive Hollow fan. Like, I watch every drop that Hollow does. The Diz versus Hollow surprise battle was crazy. I like them heated moments too. I love Sirius Jones and Diz just because because of the way that Jones handled himself in that moment when Ice walked across the stage. It's the extra shit, you know what I mean? Like, battle rap's battle rap, and it can potentially become not diluted, but it can become same old same. So you need this shit to break it up. You need something different to be brought to it, and that's why I'm such a massive Ted fan. He brings something different. He doesn't come in and go, I'm going to beat you to death. Like, he comes in and goes, I'm going to bar you to death. Fucking Carl
absolutely.
Williams. That's a bar right there. But that's fucking. I'm honestly struggling to think of those battles off the head. What's funny is I actually watch way more King of the Dot than URL, but only URL battles are coming to mind right now for some reason.
Yep. No, I mean, something else too is that, looking at, the past couple of guest appearances have obviously been, big King of the Dot names, very, very familiar ones. That's pretty much, the main visitors that have been coming back for the last couple of events. And, looking at, aside from the card that we've got coming on in the next couple of months, have there been any other battlers that have kind of been reaching out to you on visits to Australia, or anyone that you've got in mind?
Man. Yeah, man, the list is incredible. I was talking to Pat Stay. He had a battle booked, but then that fell through. Let me just rattle off, we talked to Pat Stay, Real Deal, Marv won. Bonnie wants to come back out. A-Ward is super keen to come back out. We've spoken to Peanut. Yeah, man, spoken to Ilmac. Bro, we were I'm not going to say we were really close, but we were reasonably close to making Ilmac versus Soul happen on Real Talk. That would have been fucking incredible.
That would have been incredible.
These are all people we're talking with, man. It's difficult because sometimes you talk to people, you don't get a response. I've spoken to Daylight, obviously. Spoken with Heath. There's absolutely no shortage of people coming out. The issue that we're facing at the moment, I think, is when we're early on and people didn't hear about us, they knew we were a very small league, so they were sort of like, okay, cool, I'm happy to work with you. And now it's sort of having a profile is working against us, because they sort of think we're these big business people, and they're like, yep, okay, I need fucking 80% deposit and I need fucking insane fees. And for us, booking your flights is our deposit. That costs us $2,500 to $3,000. If us outlaying that money on your flight isn't commitment enough to the fact that we're going to bring you out here, and if the fact that Diz, Saurus, Nestle, E. Farrell, Head Ice, Bonnie Godiva, Carter Dean, Strotty P, the fact that these people go, yep, left the country fully paid, never had an issue, never had a qualm, was an amazing stay, they took care of us, the accommodation was dope, they hooked us up with a bag of sticky. That, for me, I would hope that enough is enough to get people out here. Just sprung to mind. Almost had Arsenal out here too, but then he booked Lux for his last battle. That was I literally had his fee and dates and all that sort of locked in. But yeah, now that we're becoming more familiar, it's almost like they think we're a Don't Flop or a King of the Dot, and we've got this money to throw around, and sort of starting to make it. It's actually starting to make it a little bit more difficult, and maybe that's because we're going for the higher profile names. So you fall in that trap, man. Do we work with the people who we've worked with in the past, and they know what to expect from us, and we know what to expect from them, but then our crowds don't get new faces? Or do we take a chance and try to show and prove with these new heads? That's just a part and parcel of the job, man. And that's probably why you realise you've got to be more professional. Well, I realise I've got to be more professional, and I need to rely on and work with and be more trusting of the team, because it's bigger than just me tweeting someone and saying, hey, do you want to make something happen? There's a lot that goes into it. So, yeah, man, there's no shortage of names. Trust. There's been a few people sort of semi-locked in. There's a whole lot more people that want to get out here. I suppose these days, if someone says I'm coming to Australia, you can be pretty sure what platform they're coming out on. But yeah, crowds, fucking punters, battlers, rest assured, there's going to be no shortage. And you know what? I think that in 2016 and this year, we were we had an active plan of attack. Like we wanted to, I'm not sure if we did it as effectively now looking back on it as we wanted to, but we wanted to sort of spread the internationals a bit and get a few different people opportunities, because we didn't want to become one of those brands where, you know, we only push LJ as the champ or we only push Vega. Vega's probably slipped himself into that position a bit. And that it just is, again, a credit to the work he's done. But I think moving forward, man, like if we give people these dope battles and international battles, and there's got to be a public reciprocation of that. Otherwise, there's perceptions that go with that. So if we do all this stuff for people and we don't feel like we get love back for that, then we're not going to continue to put on. Like if you work with us 5 times, fucking go somewhere else, work there once and start screaming fucking their league name and shouting them out, and you've got more gratitude and respect and affection and love for what they're doing than what we're doing, then fucking why should we come back and provide more plates? Why should we give you another opportunity? Like, we'll give it to someone that'll appreciate it. So we're trying to maybe narrow that focus and pick a few people to really push and build. But, you know, who knows, man, the game changes. The other thing that goes into it is sometimes you organise an international opponent and go, we want you to battle this person, and they go, no, I don't want to battle that person. And everybody wants to battle person in 360 because they all want their views, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, that can be a challenge in itself. Like I remember a couple of years ago, everyone wanted to battle Manus. They all wanted to battle the blind dude because they felt like they had easy angles, easy bars. You know, it was from their point of view, it was an easy battle. Even though he's a super talent, that's not saying he's an easy person to battle. It's just that it would have been easier for them to create material, than someone who potentially didn't have something so obvious about them. Do you know what I mean? So that's a part of the difficulties of trying to make shit happen too. Is sometimes they want fucking $20,000 and 360, and then when you come to them later and go, look, I've got $1,500 and me to battle you, and they're like, fuck off, which is fair enough too. And then we just move on to the next person that wants to work with us. So there's a whole lot of shit that goes into it, and that's what makes it difficult. That's like even Shoddy P. That event got postponed, and then it was almost postponed again for passport issues, and then you got to spend more money and be more out of pocket to make sure that shit happens faster. So much that goes into it, man. It's crazy, but I don't actually love every minute of it, but when I look back in hindsight, I feel like I love it all.
Yeah, definitely, and that's what you want to do, man. And like, also something else too is that, like, well, obviously in battle rap you got to have your connections with like all the other international leagues and the people who own them and all that kind of stuff. And obviously, Gannick was here like about 2 years ago for the Vanguard event, and I think Gully was as well. I can't really remember, but I do know for a fact that he's definitely knowing more of like what the Australian scene is going on right now, and like you've obviously had your fair share of like conversations with him, but like have you also got in touch with like Bishop Brigante, Gully TK, and like Lush One and all these other cats, like just to ask for like advice on like what they thought could actually help improve Real Talk's name?
Absolutely. Bishop Brigante and Pass are 2 more dudes that we've talked to about coming out here for a battle. Yep. Just a side note. But yeah, absolutely. So Gannick's a busy man. First off, I'm going to actually say this. I'm going to throw some shade. Fuck Dope Flop, fuck Briggsy, and fuck and fuck any cunt that when we were putting the 7th birthday event on, we was talking about they're going to lose all their money and never do it again. Fuck you cunts. We proved you wrong. You can suck my fucking dick. Don't flop, you dumb cunt. Sorry, I just had to throw it out there because I'm trying to keep it professional, but there's still 10% of me that, you put me in a corner, I'm going to swing my way out of it and probably take your jaw out on my way out. But I digress. Yes, man, we have lots of conversations. Like as recently as a month ago, I actually said to Organic, look, we're putting all this, we're putting all this effort in. We're making all these investments. We're trying to make some dope shit happen, but it feels like it's taken longer than it should. And we would absolutely unequivocally. I'm saying that we would never rebrand. We're Real Talk through and fucking through. We might rebrand our up and coming platforms or add little elements in there so it goes Gauntlet and your Hunger Pains, and then we might change things that way. But we'll never rebrand. But I actually said to him, "We're doing all this. We're putting all this work in. Fucking. Do you think we should rebrand? What do you think we could do?" And he took the time to reply. His reply was, "I'm out right now in a club. I'll holler back later." And he never hollered back. But he did reply. And with the whole. with the whole Cortez situation right now, Gully has been the dude. Like, Gully and King Fly, man, we talk to them regularly. They're sort of the ones that we go back and forth with now and go, look, this is what we want to do. Can we do it? Like, I think Gully was really integral in making sure that Vega got a plate at Dub D7. So, yeah, absolutely, man. We reach out to these people. Actually, while we're on the subject of Vanguard too, another little story that I want to throw in there because it's got an ironic ending. So there's a lot of people that talk about, Dwiz gives himself internationals. I didn't want to battle at Vanguard. Didn't want to battle at all. When we were putting the fucking lineup together, Decoy, the fucking pedophile dog, he actually said, well, I've got Madness coming out a week after the battle. Why don't we set him up with something at Vanguard? And we were like, yeah, that was dope. And I said, Cos needs to, Cos versus Madness would have been a flyer battle. And Decoy's response was, he doesn't have a big enough name. I think you should do it. And I was like, hang on, Cos has battled more people than me. Like, Cos has had more battles. He's more consistent. Like, I would love to battle more, but all these other shit takes my energy. And then it's hard to book a battle sometimes. But, ironically, he was like, no, fucking you should do it. And that's how Cos versus Decoy ended up coming about. And we know where that went. So
definitely.
Like you can't pick the left turns where it's going to go. Like you think you're doing the right thing, or potentially maybe you think you're doing the wrong thing, and it can either go really, really well, or it can bite you in the ass. Like, it only takes one event where we invest. But thankfully, attendances have been fucking really, really good since we made this extra investment into the battles. But like I said, we're still a ways from a break-even point. But if we had half the crowd, that would make it really, really difficult to continue. So, yeah, man, you've got to learn. You've got to ask for advice. You've got to find different ways to promo. Sponsors are so integral. And we'll go out and go, what do you offer sponsors? Or how do you go about gaining sponsorship? So, yeah, absolutely, man. How your network determines your net worth. I'll keep coming back to it. And it's ironic that, I read that quote from Grind Time, like back in would have been 2010, like after Real Talk had been around for a year or so. So, yeah, man, absolutely want to learn. And, don't mind telling a few people to suck my cock if we prove wrong. I gotta be honest, man. Real fucking talk.
Yeah, that's it, man. And actually, obviously it makes everyone cringe whenever Decoy's name gets brought up anywhere. Ever since the Vanguard event, but. Fuck me, the funny thing is that I didn't get into Australian battle rap, Australian battle rap was pretty much my introduction to battle rapping in general, the battle with 360 and Cursor and all that, and, I was watching back to all the battles from, Got Beef and, Real Talk back in the day and all that kind of stuff, I was familiarizing myself with all that, and, I was actually, when I heard that there was an event going down in Brisbane in 2015, I was actually in Brisbane around that time because I was doing the Soundwave Festival, but it turns out that I didn't book my flights early enough to stay around for a little bit longer and turn up to the event, but a little while afterwards, I think halfway through 2015, I was just what happened to Got Beef? And then, I just happened to find the battle between Thesaurus and Manners over at the Vanguard event, and what I saw was Manners brings up Thesaurus' daughter and said, I heard that his daughter got raped by Decoy, that's karma. And I'm just wait, hang on, what happens? And, so I clicked on some of the other battles to see what happened, and I'm like, okay, here's Big Cos and versus Decoy. So I watched that, and towards the end, I was like, whoa, what the fuck? Obviously, Big Cos shared his side of the story and how he found out all about this, and it's crazy, especially seeing as Decoy was a really big name to other league owners and all that. He was responsible for getting DNA conceded and even Disaster out here quite a few times, and the fact that he was a huge icon, and the fact that he is now considered a kiddie fiddler, and has been exposed by Lush One as well. That's a very bad look on us, but because controversy is what gets the most attention, and for an Australian battle league, that's not a very good look.
No, it's not, man. It's not, and Cos did share his perspective, but for people that didn't check out that interview or whatever, he only found out about the screenshot sent to him 2 days before the battle. That's why he probably didn't execute the expose as well as he could have if he had a month to prep it. And he was torn he was torn morally and emotionally. Like, do I go in? Do I scrap my material? Do I add my material? So, and even then at that stage, there was 3 screenshots that showed that he'd been talking to the girl, and the worst thing he said was, "So what? You're 14. Age is just a number." But all the screenshots that came out after, like, he shouldn't have left the venue alive, and I'll wear it. But fucking a lot of more people have had more opportunities than we had, and he fucking sat in Organic's lap pretty much the whole fucking event at the after party to make sure that no one had a chance to have a one-on-one conversation with him. But you're right, man. You're right. That gets the attention. But the thing is, we ostracise that, right? As soon as everyone always knew there was something not quite right about him. But you sort of, you feel sorry for the special kid, and you try to include him in the game of footy. You know what I mean? You sit him down in the goal square, and you go, look, just try to fucking catch a ball and try to kick it through the big sticks. But you include him, you involve him, and you go, good on you. But when it goes beyond the line, and it's not just this guy's a little bit weird or there's something quite off about him. When it's like this guy's like got behaviour of grooming children, and there's more that goes over. Like, he's been a promoter for underage shows, and then he's tried to deflect and say that the main actor was trying to get people backstage when it was him using their name to try to create these. Well, there's so much to it, man. But
Jesus.
he doesn't need more airtime. But the point needs to be that fucking as soon as that came out, he was cut out and will not ever be allowed back in as long as we have anything to do with it. Like, his event fucking immediately after that was changed from where it was to a secret location. The Kid versus Madness battle, was at some fucking, I don't know, looked like an art gallery or some shit, because they couldn't announce the venue. And then the next event was like, in some dodgy strip club. Like, let it be known that motherfucker will never be allowed back in. But yeah, fuck that cunt.
Yeah, definitely. And, but the good thing too is that like even though that all the controversy has been going all around, like the good thing is that like it is still making people aware of like the Australian battle rap scene, and like immediately like after Lush One did the live stream of him talking to Decoy himself, like he got you on the line and shared your own thoughts with him on like what was going on and what is actually happening with Real Talk and all that. And the good thing is that like even though that there have been fuck ups in the past with Australian battle rap, they still like King of the Dot still fucking care about it, because it's not just like us. They care about everyone else that's getting involved with in the scene. They want to make this thing big, and they're still talking about Real Talk. They're still talking about like everything else that Australia's been doing, and that's the fucking beauty of it.
Yeah, man. Well, the old adage goes, for any promo is a good promo. With the Lush One thing, it was actually, he sort of went live with Decoy, and then he said, "I'm going live with more information." So I was like, "This will be good." And then I saw, fucking old mate jump on there and start like, "Oh, I don't really know what happened, but what I heard from someone who heard something from a Facebook post from someone that wasn't at the event, but they heard this from someone that was at the event," sort of sharing fourth, fifth-hand information. That's what I was like, hang on. And it was funny because like while he was talking, like so many people were like, "Lush, hit up Dwiz," and then he started going, "Where is Dwiz?" And I'm like, I'm here. I was fucking driving down the Pacific Highway doing 110 in the fucking right-hand lane, like, fucking pick me, because I just had to shed light on it, because if we don't, and we don't get the opportunity, then people don't understand. They don't know the backstory, and then they just go, because the thing was, like, even with Vanguard, like, Vanguard was, in principle, it was a really good event. It was someone else's event that essentially I wanted to make sure it went as well as possible, because it was in my city. I promoted an event last week where I fucking booked the venue, I did all the promotion, I booked the support acts. Somebody else took home all the fucking money from the door, and it was their show and they were the promoter. I just wanted to make sure it went well, because I fucking have pride in my city and I want us to be well represented. And that's why I had to jump on the line with Lush and be like, actually, bro, this is the actual story and what actually went down. And he's got a much larger platform than we have. And then people see that, and then more people come to know the story, and then the residual effect of that is they get to know, well, who's this guy talking about it? He obviously knows his shit. They check me out, and in turn they come across Real Talk, and in turn we spread that fan base, that viewer base, and then further down the line, someone else gets an extra 20, 30 international views and potentially gets the right set of eyes on them that watches their battle, starts scouting them, and, who knows what can happen. So, yeah, man, it's really important to, any promo is good promo, but it's also very important to get the story straight, and make sure that you can make your point as much as possible. That's why, to be honest with you, I was a little bit upset when I've seen the first few battle chats go up. I was like, oh, I'm not giving him my chance, bro. Like, I love this shit. I love the platform that, Gil always gives me shit, and it's no secret. It's why I'm a host. It's why I'm an MC. It's why I'm a battle. I love to sort of, fucking command an audience, but I also want to make sure that I'm well represented, make myself very clear what I stand for, and try to get the best out of every opportunity. So that's why it's so crucial to be a part of these opportunities. That's why I'm real mad, genuinely grateful that you invited us on, man. Much appreciated.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's my pleasure. Well, I obviously wanted to get you on for a while, but obviously it had to be with like a really big event coming up, and that's why I kind of used That's kind of why I used the Real Talk 8th birthday event as like my advantage to actually to get a chance to have a chat with you. And I have to tell you, man, it's been great having this interview done with you, man. It was great to finally get this down.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Thank you for having me, giving me the opportunity to speak. Don't edit too much out. I don't mind if they hate me. There's enough of them out there. But once again, man, Real Talk, November 25th, the Bright Side Brisbane, the 8th birthday, massive lineup. A week later, December 2, Real Talk Melbourne, another massive lineup. I think they're still adding a couple of opening battles to that. Actually, I think I haven't even jumped in the group chat, but I think there might be a slight matchup change. Don't quote me on it. But yeah, man, I really appreciate you taking the time. We need more people like yourselves who are giving up their own time to be a part of this. You know what I mean? You didn't pay me, I didn't pay you. None of us are getting any benefit out of this. We're doing it because we got love, we got respect and passion for the culture. And that's what we need more of, man. We need more people, trying to do what they can to contribute to the scene, to take it to a larger platform, because, it's fucking strength in numbers. If we all do that little part, we're going to go much further together. So salute, brother. Salute to my whole team. I need to take the opportunity. Salute to Gil Doom once again. Salute Vega. Salute Preach. Salute my man MJ, Big KOZ, the whole Real Talk team. My man Recky B. He's gonna be like, why'd you say me last, cunt? Shout out to Recky Blooded. The whole 469 and the whole Real Talk family. Much appreciated, brother.
Definitely, and thank you very much for the kind words, man. And I can't wait for Real Talk 8th birthday. It's going to be great, man.
Special media guest, bro. Let's work.
Yep, definitely, man. Let's do it.
All right, bro. I'll talk to you very soon. Cheers, man.
No worries. Have a good one, Dwiz.
You too, brother.